Alright, look, there's something really big happening in crypto right now, and I think a lot of people are going to lose lots of money if they don't understand what I'm about to explain. Now, this isn't some chart or technical analysis or whatever you see online. This is something that's much bigger. So please, I urge you, watch this whole video through, because I promise you, whatever game plan strategy that you guys have right now, it'll change after knowing this. Now, this video is going to be a little different from what I usually post. Instead of just mentioning the coins that you guys should buy, which I still will be towards the end of the video, I'm first going to mention what's happening in the markets right now, because this will ultimately help you even more. But before we get into it, I just want to quickly mention, for those of you that don't know, I actually have a newsletter where I send out daily business trends that haven't hit the market yet, and how you can be the first to it and make money off of it. It's completely free, and if you guys want, you can sign up by clicking the link down below. And as always, make sure you guys smash that like button, subscribe if you guys haven't already for all your crypto updates, and without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so the stuff I'm going to share with you guys, I'm going to be honest, I didn't even find out for myself until recently, so I'm going to try breaking this down as simple as possible for you. So if we look at the price of Bitcoin, the all-time high we hit was about $65,000, and right now we're sitting at around $16,000. Now, judging by what everyone else is saying on Twitter and all these other videos, I'm pretty sure you're thinking that we're at the bottom and we can't go any lower for Bitcoin's price. I mean, you can tell that just by looking at the chart or just seeing everything that's happened recently with FTX, BlockFi, Voyager, Luna, all these liquidations. Heck, even if you were to look at a technical point of view, everything indicates that we're at the bottom. So realistically, we can't go any lower, and that's what a lot of people already think. I mean, even with one of the largest lenders, Genesis, going under, the market barely even moved 3%. If this was any other time period, we would have easily saw a 10 to 20% drop, but we didn't. So in order for us to see the price come down lower substantially, we're gonna need to see some crazy stuff happen, like Binance going under, or USDT getting pulled, or something of that nature. Something large has to happen for the price to come down further than what it's already at. So like I said, everything is pointing out for the market to be at the bottom already, and everyone kind of already figures that. And if it wasn't for what I'm about to share with you, I honestly would be buying all this up and dollar cost averaging in. But there's something really big happening that a lot of people are overlooking, and I was too, until I watched another video and realized just how big this actually is. Now, to understand this, we're going to need to zoom out. Instead of just looking at the crypto markets, we have to look at the traditional markets as well. So stocks, equities, bonds, real estate, because everything is all tied together now, whether you like it or not. Now, I'm going to explain it just as it was explained in the video, because it did a really good job getting the point across. So basically, think of a big skyscraper, and within that skyscraper, we have all the markets that I mentioned. So stocks, bonds, equity, real estate, everything is within the skyscraper. And then in the basement, all the way at the bottom of the skyscraper, we have our little itty bitty crypto market. So in our tiny market in the basement, everyone is partying, having a good time, thinking crypto has finally bottomed out and things are only going to go up from here. But what they don't understand is that we have all these other big markets right on top of us. So when all these markets end up crashing down, what do you think will happen to the price of crypto? Now, we don't know how low we can go, but the point is there is a huge possibility of this happening, and it could send prices crashing. And the reason I know this can happen is because of what I'm about to tell you. Now, what people need to understand is, yes, we're in a crypto bear market, but this is the first time that we're in a macro bear market as well, meaning all the other investments are down as well. Because previously in history, every time crypto would be in these bear markets, 2013, 2017, 2022, these other markets were perfectly fine. If anything, they were thriving. So even though at the time of those crypto bear markets, large investors or whales that were in crypto and that saw their portfolios getting crushed, they were perfectly fine with it because all their other investments were doing well. Now imagine all these other investments they have, which probably make up like 90% of their net worth, crash as well. What do you think they're going to do with their crypto? We're talking about something that's never happened in history before. People wouldn't even know how to react. And this is also one of the main reasons why people don't do well in crypto, and I was the same way as well. You think crypto is its own thing, and it was at one point, but now there's just so much tied into the crypto market, and the one who understands this will end up making a killing. Also, another thing I wanted to mention is this chart. Now, this is the Bitcoin rainbow chart, and it shows where we are in the market. Every time we were in the bear market, it predicted it, and it showed the rally afterwards as well. Now, I've seen a lot of people refer to this chart, and I myself have used it as well, as it's a very popular chart. So So if you use it, I encourage you to stop because everything about it is wrong. Because amongst the whole chart, we've never seen one bad macro environment, meaning all the other investments in the world are crashing, there's real estate crashing, credit debt is skyrocketing, layoffs are everywhere, home prices are skyrocketing, retirement is plummeting. We didn't see any of that during this chart. So this is a good chart for, when everything is going well in the world, when there's no worries, no tension, when every other investment is doing great. But overall, this chart legit doesn't even make sense to use, and I'm embarrassed that I've used it before myself, because just imagine how this chart will look when every other market is falling on top of crypto and people have insanely high credit debt on top of that. They're not being able to afford their house, their retirement money is pretty much crashing. That would be insane. Now if we look at the top of Bitcoin, again, the reason why we saw such a huge drop in its price from 65,000 was because in November, that's when inflation was really starting to pick up and there were talks that the Fed was going to start to raise interest rates. And what happens when interest rates increase? Normal finance and everything else crashes. Now, had us not have this inflation problem that we had back in November, would we have passed 65,000? I really think we would have, because there was nothing stopping us at the time. So everyone who was buying up here at 65,000 were only focused on the crypto market and weren't taking into account the macro lens and seeing that the rate hikes were coming. And because of that, they ended up getting crushed. So if we look at the bottom of crypto right now, which everyone thinks we are in, they aren't taking into account that everything else in the skyscraper is going to fall right on top of us and bring down the price even more. Now, if we look at one more thing, this is a chart that shows what happened every time the Fed started to raise interest rates. And we can see from this chart that when the Fed begins to pivot, we can see an even more drop in the market value. And what you have to understand is the second interest rates increase, the market doesn't just come down right away. It can take months to years before we see the outcomes of a rate increase. Because what will happen is businesses will start to lay off people will start to spend less money, the stock prices will start to come down, the real estate prices will start to come down, and all this is what brings down the market overall. And all this takes time to happen. And that's what we're seeing happen right now with tech stocks getting hit like crazy, layoffs starting to occur, mortgage demand dropping. These are all side effects of increased interest rates. So what do I think is going to happen? Well, I honestly feel like the general finance market, so stocks, equities, bonds, is most likely going to crash. There's just so much going on right now. We saw 10 years of legit perfectness, and now we're finally starting to see the side effects start to roll in. So what does this mean? Well, the price of Bitcoin right now is about 16,000, and this is with all the other markets, just being average, nothing crazy happening to it. But when we start to see the effects of everything and traditional markets start to crash, I honestly think Bitcoin will go lower than 16,000. How low will Bitcoin go? I honestly have no clue, but what I do know is that there is no way that Bitcoin will stay stagnant while all the other markets are crashing. That's just impossible and won't happen. Now, there is a slight possibility that we avert all of this and the traditional markets don't take that big of a hit and we don't see the markets crash, but that's something we just can't predict. So that brings us to the question. What can we do? Well, we have two outcomes. All the markets could crash, bringing crypto down with it as well, or we could hit a soft bottom and we don't see any crazy crash and we just start picking up straight from there. So let's say the markets crash, hypothetically. If we look back at the chart, we can see that every time the Fed pivots, we see the price always recover eventually. So if you buy any time during this time frame, you're good. Now, you don't need to time it perfectly, but just buy within these time frames. And the thing is, you can honestly buy anything and you'll be good, because there'll be so much blood in the markets that anything you buy will legit be a good investment that will pay off eventually. And you can even just buy the top cryptos and you'll still see some crazy gains. I'm talking Ethereum, Cardano, BNB, Ripple, but we aren't in that time period, not right now. So the best course of action right now is to hold off and see what is going to happen with these markets. Now, I know a lot of you guys just love to dollar cost average, so if you guys want to continue that, go for it, but just have enough on the sidelines where if this does happen, your fuel is ready to go. And if by some miracle we don't see these crashes and we see a massive bull run instead, which is slightly possible, then you just go straight into altcoins and you just ride the wave up. Because remember, first Bitcoin's price will go up and then the altcoins price will follow after. So once we start to see Bitcoin go, then you can start getting into these smaller altcoins and make more money that way. Now, crypto has definitely gotten it the worst with all these liquidations and everything else going on in the markets, but these other traditional markets are holding pretty well. But soon that won't be the case, and we're going to start to see more layoffs start coming in, debt start increasing, people start to spending less money, which was going to cause stocks to plummet as well, which will bring down the crypto prices as well. But yeah, this is the big picture that's happening in the market right now, and it's honestly a huge thing that I don't see anyone talking about. Now, yes, crypto is down right now, and everyone is saying that it is the bottom because it looks just like every other bottom we had. But you have to remember, those bottoms happened when the traditional markets were doing just fine. Crypto just went down on its own, but now we have the chance of this huge skyscraper falling right on top of us. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Hopefully this opened your eyes to actually what's happening in the markets right now. I know this video was a little different from what I usually post, but this really needed to be said. And if you guys have any insights, make sure you guys let me know down in the comment section below. Also, I know a lot of you guys are into trading or want to start trading, so I highly suggest you guys looking into Lux Algo. Now, I talk about them all the time, and I just love promoting them because they've helped me so much. But it's an algorithm that tells you exactly when to buy and sell stocks, crypto, and forex. I've been using it for over 2 years now, and it's honestly a game changer for me. They have so many special indicators you can use as well to help make better trades. And like I said, I've talked about them plenty of times in previous videos, but if you guys want solid signals that are actually correct and tell you when to buy and sell, you guys can check out Lux Algo by clicking the link down below. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in next week's video. Peace.